Good evening, live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Nation celebrates Constitution Day, commemorating 76th year of India as a republic and adoption of India's constitution. President Draupadi Murmu leads the celebrations in New Delhi. Ushering in a new dawn of self-reliance in the aviation sector, Prime Minister Modi virtually inaugurates Safra Aircraft Engine Services India facility in South Indian city of Hyderabad. In a first-of-its-kind initiative, Union Cabinet approves Rs 7,280 crores scheme to promote manufacturing of sintered rare earth permanent magnets. Cabinet also approves Phase 2 of Pune Metro Rail. India is celebrating 75th Constitution Day. It marks the adoption of the Constitution by the Constituent Assembly. President Draupadi Murmu led the celebrations at the Old Parliament Building's historic Central Hall today. On November 26, 1949, the Indian Constituent Assembly formally adopted the Constitution, which came into effect on January 26, 1950. The day is marked by central government celebration of the principles of democracy, justice and equality. The President led the reading of the preamble to Constitution of India during the program. The commemorative booklet, Art and Calligraphy in the Indian Constitution, was also released during the program. President Murmu released the translated version of the Constitution in 9 languages, including Malayalam, Marathi, Nepali, Punjabi, Bodo, Kashmiri, Telugu, Odia and Assamese. The President said, Constitution is the guiding document to shun colonial mindset and adopt a nationalistic thinking.
आज ही के दिन उस वर्ष हम भारत के लोगों ने अपने संविधान को अपनाया था। स्वाधीनता के बाद संविधान सभा ने भारत की अंतरिम संसद के रूप में भी कर्तव्य निर्वहन किया। प्रारूप समिति के अध्यक्ष बाबा साहेब डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर हमारे संविधान के प्रमुख निर्माताओं में से थे। बाबा साहेब की 125वीं जयंती के वर्ष में यानी सन 2015 में 26 नवंबर को प्रतिवर्ष संविधान दिवस के रूप में मनाने का निर्णय लिया गया। और निर्णय अत्यंत सार्थक सिद्ध हुआ है। आज के दिन पूरा देश भारतीय लोकतंत्र के आधार हमारे संविधान के प्रति तथा उसके निर्माताओं के प्रति आदर व्यक्त करता है।
The Vice President, Prime Minister, Speaker of Lok Sabha, members of Parliament from both the houses participated in this event. Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan, who hails from Tamil Nadu, began his Constitution Day address in his mother tongue, Tamil. He hailed the Constitution makers, saying the document reflects the soul of the nation.
During the elections held in Jammu and Kashmir in 2024, after abrogation of Article 370, the voter turnout in large number make the world to understand our faith in democracy again. In the recently held Bihar elections, voter turnout, particularly that of women in large numbers, has added another precious diamond in the crown of our Mother Bharat democracy. The contributions made by the women members of the Constituent Assembly was uncomparable. On behalf of all of us, I pay our tributes to the great contributions of the women leaders.
We now take you live to Ministry of External Affairs press conference.
The Pakistani reaction over the Indian Prime Minister hoisting the flag at the Ayodhya temple. So what's the reaction of the MEA?
उमा शंकर सिंह, इंडिपेंडेंट जर्नलिस्ट। मेरा सवाल चीन को लेकर है। चीन ने पहले भारतीय नागरिक की नागरिकता पर सवाल उठाया, उसके बाद अरुणाचल प्रदेश को लेकर बहुत ही एक आपत्तिजनक बयान दिया, जो पहले भी वो देता रहा है। कहा है कि अरुणाचल प्रदेश भारत का हिस्सा नहीं है। मेरा सवाल ये है कि क्या विदेश मंत्रालय जो है वो बयान के जरिए ही इस बात का जवाब देगा, या कुछ स्टेप्स भी उठाए गए हैं, डिमार्श या किसी तरह से तलब करके राजदूत को, क्या कुछ किया गया इस मामले में चीन के साथ?
Okay. Rishabh.
So good evening, Rishabh from Times Now. So one, in addition to Siddhant's question, that Pakistan also made a comment on Raksha Mantri's statement that he made earlier this week regarding Sindh. And the second, there have been multiple reports as well as statements that have come in from Dhaka, where they have asked India to return Sheikh Hasina and other Awami League leaders who have been convicted by the ICT.
मधु.
सर मधुरेंद्र, मैं न्यूज़ नेशन से। भारत के डिमांड जारी करने के बाद भी हमने देखा कि चीन की तरफ से बयान जारी किया गया कि अरुणाचल उनका अभिन्न अंग है। हालांकि उसके बाद भारत ने स्टेटमेंट जारी किया है। लेकिन मैं जानना चाहता हूं कि एसआर लेवल टॉक भी चूंकि तमाम बॉर्डर इशूज़ पे चल रहे हैं, तो अरुणाचल को लेकर एसआर लेवल टॉक में क्या स्थिति है, उसके बारे में बताएं। और हमारे स्टेटमेंट जारी करने के बाद अगर भारत सरकार ने चीन के साथ और भी कुछ संवाद किया हो या फिर डिमार्श इशू किया हो, उस बारे में जानकारी दें। दूसरा सवाल पाकिस्तान को लेकर है। पाकिस्तान ने जो राम मंदिर पर फ्लैग लगाया गया, उसको लेकर जो विरोध जताया है, उसको लेकर जो बातें कही हैं, उस पर हमारा क्या रिएक्शन है?
ठीक है, यशी.
This is Yeshi Seli from Business India. My question is regarding Afghanistan. Afghanistan Trade and Commerce Minister was here recently, and he said that a trade attaché is coming here, and trade attaché from India is going there. There was this understanding that India is possibly going to send an ambassador there. Is that going to happen in the near future? And secondly, what is the status of Commander Purnendu Tiwari? It's been 21 months. Is he coming back, or what is the status on him?
Okay. So first we come to Siddhant, your question on Pakistan. We have seen the reported remarks and reject them with the contempt they deserve. As a country with a deeply stained record of bigotry, repression, and systemic mistreatment of its minorities, Pakistan has no moral standing to lecture others. Rather than delivering hypocritical homilies, Pakistan would do better to turn its gaze inwards and focus on its own abysmal human rights records. चूँकि मधु तो आपने भी यही सवाल किया, इसलिए मैं हिंदी में दोहराना चाहूँगा इसको। हमने रिपोर्ट किए गए बयानों को देखा है और उन्हें उसी अवमानना साथ खारिज करते हैं जिसके वो हकदार हैं। एक ऐसे देश के तौर पर जिसका अपने अल्पसंख्यकों के दमन, कट्टरता और व्यवस्थित बुरे बर्ताव का गहरा दागदार रिकॉर्ड है, पाकिस्तान के पास दूसरे को लेक्चर देना यानी उपदेश देना का कोई नैतिक अधिकार नहीं है। खोखले उपदेश देने के बजाय या पाखंडी उपदेश देने के बजाय पाकिस्तान के लिए बेहतर हुआ कि वो अपने अंदर झांके और अपनी जो उनके मानवाधिकार का जो रिकॉर्ड है, खराब रिकॉर्ड है, उस पर ध्यान दे। उमा शंकर जी, आपके सवाल देखिए, चीन पे जो अभी उन्होंने जो कदम उठाए थे हमारे नागरिक को लेके शंघाई एयरपोर्ट पर, उसके बाद हम लोगों ने कल देखा कि हम लोग एक स्टेटमेंट जारी किया गया है। उसमें हमने बताया है, उससे पहले भी बताया कि अरुणाचल प्रदेश जो ये हुआ वो ठीक नहीं है और हमारे दोनों देशों के रिश्ते के लिए ये मददगार नहीं है। साथ ही साथ हमने ये भी कहा कि अरुणाचल प्रदेश जो है वो भारत का एक अभिन्न अंग है, एक अनिच्छेद्य अंग है और ये एक तरीके से स्वयं स्पष्ट है। किसी प्रकार की इस मामले पर कोई हकीकत में कोई बदलाव नहीं आता है। ये चीनी पक्ष को इसके बारे में पूरी तरह से ज्ञात होना चाहिए। जहाँ तक आपने कहा कि क्या हमने इस मुद्दे को उठाया है, जी हमने चीनी सरकार से यहाँ नई दिल्ली में और बीजिंग में दोनों तरफ उनसे इस मुद्दे को बड़ी सख्ती से उठाया था कि ये जो है निराधार है, नहीं, बिल्कुल गलत है जिस प्रकार से इस प्रकार की बर्ताव किया गया है. So I will sum it up also in English. See, we had issued a statement. Essentially, I was translating the statement that we had made earlier. Yesterday, we made a statement. You would have seen that regarding the arbitrary detention of an Indian citizen from Arunachal Pradesh who was holding a valid passport and was transiting through Shanghai International Airport on an onward travel to Japan. We want to say that Arunachal Pradesh is an integral and inalienable part of India, and this is a fact which is self-evident. No amount of denial by the Chinese side is going to change this indisputable reality. At the same time, I said that we did take up this matter. We did do a strong démarche with the Chinese side, both in Beijing and in Delhi, when the incident took place. At the same time, I would like to add further, since we are talking about Madhu made a reference to SR talks as to what sort of impact these incidents will have on our ties going forward. So let me reiterate, maintenance of peace and tranquility in the border regions is a prerequisite for the continued and overall development of India-China bilateral relations. Our position in this regard has always been very clear and consistent. Since October 2024, both sides have worked closely to maintain peace and tranquility in the border regions, and it is on this basis that progress, especially in particular with focus on people-centric engagements, progress has been made. Arbitrary actions by China, as the one that we referred to, that I referred to, involving an Indian citizen from Arunachal Pradesh, are most unhelpful towards efforts being made by both sides to build mutual trust and understanding and gradually move towards normalization of bilateral relations. मधु, आपके लिए जो हिंदी में इसका रूपांतर कर देता हूँ. भारत चीन के आपसी रिश्तों के लगातार और व्यापक विकास के लिए सीमावर्ती यानी बॉर्डर क्षेत्रों पे, इलाकों पे शांति और सुकून बनाए रखना एक ज़रूरी है. इस बारे में हमारी राय हमेशा साफ और एक जैसी रही है. अक्टूबर 2024 के बाद दोनों पक्षों ने बॉर्डर इलाकों में शांति और सुकून स्थापित करने के लिए मिलकर काम किया है और इसी आधार पर हमारे रिश्तों में एक स्थिरता आई है और उसमें एक तरक्की हुई है. चीन की मनमानी हरकतें, जैसे कि शंघाई हवाई अड्डे पर जो हादसा हुआ, दोनों पक्षों द्वारा आपसी भरोसा और समझ बनाने और धीरे धीरे आपसी रिश्ते को सामान्य यानी नॉर्मल बनाने की कोशिशों में मददगार नहीं है. ऋषभ, आपका सवाल सिंध को लेके है, उस पर मैं कुछ टिप्पणी नहीं करना चाहता हूं. I don't want to offer any comments on that. On Bangladesh, to your question about the request, yes, we have received the request, and this request is being examined as part of ongoing judicial and internal legal processes. We remain committed to the best interests of the people of Bangladesh, including peace, democracy, inclusion, and stability in that country, and will continue to engage constructively in this regard with all stakeholders. मधु, आपके चीन से संबंधित दोनों प्रश्नों के मैंने जवाब दे दिए हैं. Yeshi, Afghanistan, on Afghanistan, yeah, you would have followed the visit of the Industry and Commerce Minister. He had several meetings here. He met the External Affairs Minister. He also met the Commerce and Industry Minister here, as also the Minister of State for Commerce and Industry. He also attended the India International Trade Fair, where several Afghan companies and traders, they displayed their wares and displayed their products and services. Since this visit was focus to strengthen Afghanistan-India business ties. He had a range of meetings with chambers on our side, SOCHAM, PhD, Chamber of Commerce, with the export promoting agencies and councils such as Pharmexil, APEDA, and Texoprosil. Texoprosil is about textile exports. During these meetings, they discussed several issues, including market access, connectivity, how trade facilitation can happen for Afghan goods in India, also on capacity building and several other issues. You would have also followed this development that during the visit, air freight corridor between Kabul and Delhi and Kabul and Amritsar sectors, it was agreed to launch and initiate. It was also agreed that both sides will reactivate joint working group on trade, commerce and investment, as also they will depute commercial representatives in the respective embassies. It was also agreed that we'll institutionalize an arrangement whereby we have a joint chamber of commerce and industry on bringing both sides, Afghanistan and India, together to further promote bilateral trade and commercial cooperation. So in that sense, a range of meetings, very good outcomes, and the visit was a successful one, very productive one. On your question as to when our ambassador will be posted, those are things that are, as I told you, the functional requirements of our embassy there, which we upgraded from a technical mission to an embassy. Those details are being looked into, and we shall keep you updated on that matter. On Purdendu Tiwari, as I said, that I don't have an update as to where exactly it is, but he had certain requirements which he has to fulfill in that country, and therefore he continues to stay there. Vijay Lakshmi.
सर विजय लक्ष्मी हूँ इंडिया टीवी से। सर क्या दिसंबर के पहले सप्ताह में रूस के राष्ट्रपति व्लादिमीर पुतिन भारत आ सकते हैं इंडिया रशिया एनुअल समिट के लिए, और क्या कोई लेबर मोबिलिटी एग्रीमेंट भी साइन हो सकता है दोनों देशों के बीच, और इसके अलावा क्या बड़ी चीजें हो सकती हैं अगर ये समिट हो रहा है इसी पहले सप्ताह में? तो
हुमा।
My name is Huma Siddiqui and I'm with the Strat News Global. There are reports indicating that India has been named as number 2 supplier of fentanyl precursor to the US, as well as pills. So what does India have to say about that? And today there was a FOC between India and Venezuela. Was the oil exports on the agenda of conversation? Because it doesn't find mention in the release that has been issued.
शैलेंद्र।
सर शैलेंद्र वांगू न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया से। इजराइल के मीडिया ने क्लेम किया था कि इजराइल के पीएम ने अपना जो विजिट है उसको सस्पेंड कर दिया, टाल दिया है फिलहाल सुरक्षा कारणों के चलते। हालांकि एमए की तरफ से अनाउंस नहीं हुआ था, लेकिन कल हमने देखा कि उनकी तरफ से एक ट्वीट भी सामने आया जहां पर उन्होंने कहा कि हम पूरा सिक्योरिटी जो पीएम मोदी की तरफ से इंश्योर की जाती है उस पर हमें पूरा भरोसा है। तो असल वजह क्या रही है इस दौरे के कैंसिल होने की, क्योंकि उन्होंने एडमिट किया कि ये दौरा होने वाला था?
So Dhairy Maheshwari from Sputnik India. So will it be possible to get a reaction to the 28-point peace plan which has been compiled by the US with inputs from both Russia and Ukraine? Thank you.
Okay. Keshav.
Sir, thank you. Keshav Padmanabhan from The Plate. My first question is with regards to the International Crimes Tribunal, Bangladesh. I remember your statement which said that you've noted the verdict, but my larger question is, does India recognize the jurisdiction of the ICTB when it comes to cases against Sheikh Hasina that was being judged and the verdict was given? And my second question actually was, my colleague already asked in Hindi regarding Israel, so I would like if you could give that statement in English as well regarding the visit of the Prime Minister. Thank you.
So, फर्स्ट पहला विजय लक्ष्मी जी आपका सवाल देखिए, दोनों देशों की तरफ से तैयारी चल रही है। जो हमारा एनुअल समिट मीटिंग होता है रशिया और भारत के बीच में, इसको लेकर 23वां एनुअल समिट जो है वो दिल्ली में होना है, दिसंबर के महीने में होना है, और डेट और तिथि के बारे में आपको जल्द से ज्ञान दिया जाएगा। मैं ये बता सकता हूँ कि दोनों देशों की तरफ से अच्छी तैयारी चल रही है, और जैसा कि आपको पता है जब विदेश मंत्री भी गए थे मॉस्को, उस यात्रा के दौरान इस पर बातचीत हुई थी। कई एक मंत्रीगण से वहाँ बातचीत हुई थी, और दोनों देश प्रयास कर रहे हैं कि ये राष्ट्रपति पुतिन का दौरा भारत में बहुत उससे इस रिश्ते को और तेजी आएगी। इस तरफ हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं। Yes, I said that both sides are working on the annual summit, which is to be held in Delhi. As far as the dates are concerned, we will let you know on this matter in a few days' time. Both sides are working very hard to strengthen ties, and in that regard, several issues that will form part of the outcome are being discussed and being looked into right now. We shall keep you updated on the visit and the progress that is being made in that regard. Huma, on your question on counter narcotics, let me tell you that we have very strong collaboration, and not just strong collaboration, institutional collaboration between India and the United States, and these are based on long-standing agreements that we have between the two countries. Operational cooperation between the two countries has surged in the last several years, with significant two-way introductions and coordinated enforcement. Let me tell you that cooperation as far as counter narcotics is concerned, it has been given a further push with the upgraded launch of the India-United States Counter Narcotics Working Group, which happened in 2020, that is. And the 5th meeting of the Counter Narcotics Working Group happened in October last year, where both sides adopted several new measures to strengthen their common challenge and fight against narcotics. And let me also tell you that the preparations for the 6th Counter Narcotics Working Group meeting is also underway. We have a very strong mechanism of sharing information between the United States and India, and these have resulted in key seizures and arrests. Let me also tell you that joint operations have been conducted, which has led to dismantling of major transnational networks. So it's a very good area of cooperation, and we want to further strengthen our joint fight against narcotics. On the Foreign Office consultations, yes, we had Foreign Office consultations at the level of Secretary today, and we have put out a press release which gives you details of all the issues that were discussed. And I would seek your attention that we have given you a detailed readout, and that is where you'll get all the details of our conversation with our counterpart from Venezuela. शैलेंद्र, देखिए, कोई भी विदेशी दौरा जब होता है, चाहे प्रधानमंत्री आए, राष्ट्रपति आए, उसका हम लोग एक अनाउंसमेंट करते हैं, ठीक है ना? तो अनाउंसमेंट करने के बाद आपको पता चलता है कि ये स्टेट विजिट हो या ऑफिशियल विजिट हो, उसकी हम पुष्टि करते हैं। इस मामले में बातचीत चल रही थी, हम लोगों ने कोई पुष्टि तो नहीं की कि ये दौरा होने वाला है, तो आप कैसे कह रहे हैं कि फिर ये पोस्टपोन हो गया? मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। और एक चीज़ और मैं आपको ध्यान लाऊंगा कि आप लोग जब कुछ मीडिया में खबर देखते हैं तो छापने से पहले हम लोग से पूछ लीजिए कि इस पे आपकी क्या राय है, तो बेहतर रहेगा। Dhairya, on your question regarding what is India's point of view on the peace plan, but before that also शैलेंद्र, आपका ध्यान में आकर्षित करना चाहूँगा कि इजराइल के प्रधानमंत्री के दफ्तर की तरफ से भी एक बयान इस पे आया है, तो उस पर भी आप नज़र डालें। बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं द्विपक्षीय दौरों में जिस पर ध्यान दिया जाता है आप लोग के समक्ष लाने से पहले। Dhairya, you had a question about the peace plan. So we have seen reports about the peace plan. This issue is still evolving. As you would have seen, there are meetings which are being held. We are closely monitoring the developments in this regard. As you are aware, our Prime Minister has in the past and on several occasions he has said that this is not an era of war, and also called for the earliest possible cessation of hostilities. India has also advocated for sincere and practical engagement between the two parties and other key stakeholders through dialogue and diplomacy to find lasting solution to the conflict. We will continue to support all efforts aimed at bringing lasting peace to the region. Peace efforts were also discussed when External Affairs Minister visited Moscow, and it was also discussed when he had a conversation with his Ukrainian counterpart, the Foreign Minister, recently. Keshav, on the ICT verdict, look, we have made a statement. I would say that please have a look. We have given you what we think of it and what is our position on it, so that is where it is. On the visit of the Prime Minister of Israel, all such visits are announced officially by us, and thereafter it is for you to know that the visit is happening. In this particular case, the dates were not finalized. There are several visits on which we share information. Between two countries, we have a planning process. We look at several issues, several variables are there, and the Israeli Prime Minister's office also issued a statement in that regard. There are several. We will definitely keep you updated as and when the visit is planned. Sahil?
I'm Sahil Pandey from ANI News Agency. There were talks about India and Canada likely to announce a uranium deal soon. Are there negotiations going on? And if we have an update regarding that. Thank you.
Alok?
Sir, Ashok from The Pioneer. I have a question related to visa, that India has reopened visa for Chinese tourists globally. So is this only tourist visa or some business and other visa is also reopened?
Sandra?
Also an Israel-related question. There are quite a few reports about Israel having greenlit the relocation of about 5,800 Indian Jews from Mizoram, Manipur to Israel. So how does India feel about the relocation?
Hello.
Sir, the caller from the Hindu. India has of course taken note of the death sentence that was given to Sheikh Hasina by the ICT. But there are other cases against Sheikh Hasina, as well as there are cases against her top officials that are also coming up, in fact that are being heard at the ICT right now. And several of those officials are expected to get the capital punishment. And it's being reported that many of these officials are actually on the Indian soil. So what is the Indian position on this matter if these individuals also receive a very harsh and adversarial verdict from the ICT? Would the Indian authorities then hand over these individuals to Bangladesh, or would that also require some negotiation on your part?
Gautam?
Sir, thank you. Gautam Lady. I have a question on the visit of National Security Advisor of Bangladesh. And at the sideline of Security Conclave, he had a bilateral meeting with our NSA.
Yes.
Whether our concerns and our views on elections have been communicated to him, and because we didn't get any kind of readout on that meeting.
Okay. Enjoy.
So on the same subject, the Bangladesh government says that the NSA has been invited to Dhaka. Has that invitation been accepted, and are the two countries looking at dates?
Agni?
Sir, this is Agni from ABP. The Union government on Tuesday faced sharp question in the Supreme Court over the case of 6 people, including a pregnant woman from West Bengal, Sonali Khatun, who were pushed to Bangladesh without any verification to their citizenship. Are we in touch with Bangladesh regarding this for their safe coming back and all?
Okay. So first, Sahil, your question regarding uranium. This is an ongoing conversation that we have with Canada. This particular matter was also discussed when our Prime Minister met with Prime Minister Carney in Johannesburg. We shall keep you updated with developments, but it's an important part of India-Canada bilateral cooperation as to how we can further strengthen our civil nuclear cooperation between the two countries. Alok, see, visa for tourist visa is being given to Chinese nationals, and business visas were being given earlier. So all those visas are now in place. The visa regime of tourism and business, etc., is fully functional. Sandra, on Israel, between Israel and India, there's a history which goes back thousands of years, and for that reason, we've had over the last several decades movement of people and also forging of strong links between Israel and Israeli or Jewish heritage in India. We have seen some reports where a lost tribe from India may travel to Israel. We have seen those. We have a large diaspora, we have a large number of people. People travel to different parts of country on account of economic necessity, on account of emotional necessity, or family reunion. So it is for them to decide what they want to do. Kalol, on your question, we are on the verdict of the ICT. Yes, you have seen our statement. We are following all the developments that are happening in that country closely. Vadanda, on the visit of the National Security Advisor, that visit from Bangladesh happened for the Colombo Security Conclave, the meeting of which was held on 20th of November. He also had a bilateral meeting with the National Security Advisor. Several issues were discussed. As part of the Colombo Security Conclave, we discussed common challenges among the several countries which participated, and a readout was given about that particular meeting, where we talk about countering terrorism, radicalization, maritime safety and security, combating trafficking, transnational organized crime, cyber security, protection of critical infrastructure, as also humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. There were also issues where we talked about capacity building, etc. So these were the issues that were discussed as part of the Colombo Security Conclave. We have a readout. If you want more details, those details are there. Coming to Srinjoy's question, yes, we saw that invitation has been extended, and we'll take it forward when time comes. Agni, your question, see, we have a regular consular dialogue and conversation going on with Bangladesh. There are several people's issues which we continue to discuss on both sides, and in this particular specific case, I don't have an update, but we continue to talk with Bangladesh on several issues where the interest of our nationals are concerned, where our interests are concerned. Neeraj?
थैंक यू सर। न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया से नीरज हूं। सर, हमारा सवाल है कि पाकिस्तान की तरफ से आज भी यूएन एक्सपर्ट की रिपोर्ट का हवाला देकर कश्मीर में मानवाधिकार का मसला उठाया गया। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के बाद और पहलगाम के बाद पाकिस्तान से हमारे कोई संबंध नहीं है। बार बार चाहे राम मंदिर का मसला हो, रक्षा मंत्री की बात हो या मानवाधिकार की बात हो, उस पर क्यों बार बार पाकिस्तान जो है भारत पर हमला करता है और इस तरह के आक्षेप लगाता है?
तो जहाँ तक मानवाधिकार का सवाल है, मैंने कहा कि पाकिस्तान को खुद अपने गिरेबान में झांक के देखना होगा, इससे पहले कि दूसरों को उपदेश दे, क्योंकि पूरे दुनिया को दुनिया इस बात से ज्ञात है किस प्रकार का मानवाधिकार का हनन उस देश में हो रहा है। With that, thank you very much. Thanks for coming for this press conference.
that you're watching the MEA press conference addressed by the spokesperson Ranveer Jaiswal. He touched upon several key issues. He talked about how India has rejected the unsavory comments by Pakistan on Ram Mandir flag hoisting. Also, the issue of arbitrary detention of an Indian citizen from Arunachal Pradesh in China. He reiterated that India believes Arunachal Pradesh is an integral and inalienable part of India. India also has institutionalized collaborations with the United States for anti-narcotic operations. He talked about also the recent visit of the Afghan Minister Nuruddin Azizi went well. It was successful. Those were some of the key pointers presented by the spokesperson of the MEA, Ranveer Jaiswal. Moving on to our next big story coming in, India's long-anticipated bid to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games received formal approval on Wednesday at the Commonwealth Sports General Assembly in Glasgow. That's the news that we're breaking at this hour. India's Sports Minister, Dr. Mansukh Mandavia, formally announced the decision of the Commonwealth Sports General Assembly in a special press briefing at Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium in New Delhi today. The Indian city of Ahmedabad will host the Games. India faced competition from Nigerian city of Abuja to host this event, but the board decided to consider the African nation for 2034 edition. The 2030 edition will mark 100 years of Commonwealth Games, which was held for the first time in the year 1930 in Canada. India last hosted the Commonwealth Games in 2010. Getting the Games hosting rights is a significant milestone in India's quest to become an Olympic host in 2036, also proposed to be conducted in Ahmedabad. In recent months, Ahmedabad hosted the Commonwealth Weightlifting Championships, the Asian Aquatics Championship, Football AFC Under-17 Asian Cup 2026 qualifiers. Next year, it will be hosting the Asian Weightlifting Championship and Asia Para Archery Cup. And DD India correspondent Abhishek Mahajan joins us with more on this news that is breaking. Abhishek, great news for all sports lover and the administration. India wins the bid to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games.
Absolutely, Shubhendu. A final seal has been put and it has been confirmed that India will host the Commonwealth Games 2030. Like you also said, it's a major milestone in country's ambition plan to become a multi-sport hub. And why is it significant, Shubhendu? Because I mean, India hosted the Asian Games in 1951 and then 1982. Also, both games held in Delhi. And then in 2010, also India hosted the Commonwealth Games. So, and now Ahmedabad has been confirmed as the host city. And Ahmedabad, I mean, it has been presented as a game changer in the meetings also that happened in June. Also, it happened in August when India, they submitted its bid for the Commonwealth Games 2030. And a lot of work has been going on at war footing in Ahmedabad. Shubhendu, a lot of games have happened there at the regional level, also at the national level. Also, Para Games have happened next month. Also, Para Games have been scheduled. Commonwealth Weightlifting Championship also happened in recent months. Asian Aquatics Championship also. If you remember, Football AFC Under-17 qualifiers, also Asian Cup 2026 qualifiers also happened in Ahmedabad. So, but it's great news for India and also for Ahmedabad. Also, Shubhendu, it all started in June. If you remember, when the meeting had happened in London, IOA President P.T. Usha, and then Sports Joint Secretary Kunal, and then Harsh Sanghvi, the Deputy CM of Gujarat, and also the Sports Minister of Gujarat. He has also played a pivotal role. But yes, a lot of things will be done. I mean, and also, Shubhendu, global at a global level also, infrastructure-wise also, a lot of things will be done in the coming years. But yes, Commonwealth Evaluation Committee, they had visited Ahmedabad twice just to check on whether India will be able to host in terms of architecture, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of players, in terms of athletes, in terms of grounds, in terms of stadiums that are available or not. But Ahmedabad, I mean, they came good. I mean, it ticked all the boxes, and finally it got the green signal, Shubhendu. And also, Sardar Vallabhbhai Sports Complex is being made, which can house over 3,000 athletes, and also Narendra Modi Stadium. We all know the world's biggest cricket stadium. That is expected to be one of the venues also, and several venues will be finalized. But yes, if you look at 2026 Commonwealth Games also, that will be held next year, Shubhendu. Only 10 sports will be there. Only 10 sporting disciplines will be there. Hockey will not be there. Unfortunately, cricket will not be there. Not even badminton, not even shooting. Remember, Shubhendu, when India hosted the Commonwealth Games in 2010, India got 30 medals in shooting.
Right.
India got 19 medals in wrestling also. They got a medal in hockey also. So half of the medals India got were in 3 sports. So unfortunately, these sports will not be part of the 2026 Commonwealth Games that will be held next year in Glasgow. Only 10 sports will be there. But yes, India, they'll be finalizing the list of sports that they will be. We are all assuming and we are all hoping that these sports will be there, because India have been doing well in multi-sports, especially in shooting and wrestling, cricket and badminton. So that process will also start from next month. But yes, big achievement and a big news for India and the sporting fans, that India, they have got the bid. Final seal has been put that India will officially, they will be the host of 2030 Commonwealth Games.
Right, the big news, Abhishek, and you gave us so much detail on it. I'm just also curious to find out what kind of an edge, what kind of expectations do Indian players will have? The sort of advantage of home ground. India has experience of having hosted Commonwealth Games in 2010, and now Ahmedabad set to host again in 2030. What does it mean for Indian players?
Yes, big thing for the Indian players. I mean, if I go back, Shubhendu, a lot of credit goes to the government. When we talk about Khelo India Games, different schemes have come up after 2014. If you talk about Target Olympic Podium Scheme, top scheme. So a lot of work has been done at the grassroots level, Shubhendu. And if any nation has to become a sporting nation, work at the grassroots level is very essential. And the work is being done for the last few years, for last decade or so. Shubhendu, if you say, Khelo India University Games, Khelo India Youth Games, University Games are being held in Rajasthan. Glittering ceremony we saw, opening ceremony we saw 2 days ago. A lot of work has to be done, is being done at the grassroots level, Shubhendu. India hosted the Commonwealth Games in 2010. Indian players, like you said, will get a lot of advantage. They get a home game advantage. The home crowd was also with them. But yes, a lot will be done in terms of infrastructure, and players also, athletes also will get a lot of confidence. And also, Shubhendu, like you said in the lead, also India is hosting. India is trying their best to host 2036 Olympic Games also. So it's a major milestone. It's a big achievement, and it's a big news that India will be hosting the Commonwealth Games. And who knows that the news are also coming in that if India gets the bid, India get the hosting rights of 2036 Olympic Games also. That can also happen in Ahmedabad. But yes, if you focus on Commonwealth Games as of now, 2030, big boost for the athletes also. Big boost for the country also. Global image. India will become a global sporting house, powerhouse. And yes, like I talked about the sports, 2026 will not have sports which suits India. But yes, 2030, because it depends on the host country, what sporting disciplines that they want. In fact, the talks are also there, Shubhendu, that indigenous sports, where India is doing well, traditional sports of India, Kho-Kho, Kabaddi, that might also feature in 2030 Commonwealth Games. But like I said, finalizing of what all sports will be there. It will happen, it will start happening from next month, that is December this year.
Right, Abhishek, for sports lovers, all eyes are going to be on Ahmedabad, which has won the bid to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games. Abhishek, Ahmedabad is known to be the UNICEF World Heritage City, and from now on, perhaps Ahmedabad would also known as the city that hosts global contests. What does it mean for the sporting infrastructure of any city to transform, to be able to host a global event like this? How many athletes, how many events? You did mention the final list is to be confirmed, but broadly, what kind of a host is Ahmedabad expected to be?
Oh, yes, Shubhendu, a lot of the players, I mean, in fact, 70, 71 countries, I mean, they take part in Commonwealth Games, and India, they were fourth, if I clearly remember, the Birmingham Commonwealth Games that happened in 2022. India were fourth. India have been doing well. They get a lot of medals in Commonwealth Games also. But yes, like you said, it will be a big boost for the players also, for India also. And Ahmedabad, like I said, their work has been done at war footing, Shubhendu, in the last decade or so. A lot of work is being done in terms of sporting infrastructure, in terms of what all facilities are being provided to the athletes also. A lot of work is being done at Ahmedabad, not only Ahmedabad, in Delhi also. I mean, when India hosted 2010 Commonwealth Games also, Shubhendu, a lot of work was being done to build the stadiums. I mean, if you see, a lot of international class stadiums are there, in the sense that, in fact, as far as I clearly remember, I mean, in Khelo India Games, I mean, these athletes who take part in Khelo India Games, they are just university level players, they are just national level players, and to get that exposure, that kind of exposure that you get in Khelo India Games also, so that adds a lot. So, but yes, big boost for the players also. And yes, India in 2030, yes, they are expected to do well, because a lot of sports that suits Indian players and athletes that will also be part of these games.
Right, Abhishek, great. Thank you for getting us all those details. Let's stay on this story, connect with DD India correspondent Narayan Singh, who's reporting from Major Dhyan Chand Stadium, Delhi. That's where this important press conference and announcement was made. Narayan, good evening. A big news coming in for sports lovers in India. India is set to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games. Ahmedabad is going to be the venue. Take us through the details of what happened in the press conference.
If you talk about it, there was an event here at the Dhyan Chand Stadium. It's the celebrity events. We saw that a person from the, we can say that the Sports Authority of India and the various athletes were there. Sports Minister Mansukh Mandaviya was there. And the green crackers were just, we saw in the sky to celebrate this historic moment. And there was a celebratory mode all over here. And we saw that in a brief speech, the sports minister said that India is ready to, they are taking a new leap in the world of sports, hosting an event like Commonwealth Games. It's not just about Commonwealth Games. It's not about just hosting the games, but it's about building, we can say that an ambition, building, we can say that a faith, and building, most importantly, making India a second home for the world of sports. And all the games like Commonwealth Games, the 2020-30 Commonwealth Games, it's like we can say that a precursor to the India's ambition to host the 2036 Olympics, for the games that India wants to build. So overall, if you take a look, the games in the past we hosted, in 2010 we hosted the Commonwealth Games for the first time. And again, we can say that when the so-called developed nations of the world are pulling out from the hosting of the big events, Australia just pulled out from hosting. The Victoria City of the Australia pulled out. They said that they can't host the Commonwealth Games because of the budget problems, and same with the many countries. In that scenario, India is coming forward and just showing the world that it's not only about the hosting, but giving a right opportunity to the athletes. If you take a look, the next edition of the Commonwealth Games, which will take place in Glasgow, if you take a look, there are only around 11 sports, and the sports like hockey, sports like wrestling, badminton, and shooting has been dropped from that edition of the game, where India wins a large number of medals. And definitely, when India will host these mega events in 2030, India will bring back all those sports where India is dominating and winning the medal. So in that sense, we can say that it is also an opportunity for our stars, our athletes, so that they can showcase their talent at the global event. So, Shubhendu, all in all, we can say that this is going to be a big thing for the India. Because if you take a look at the city of Gujarat, the way the city in the recent past has developed the sporting infrastructure, talking about the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Sports Enclave. If you take a look, it is one of the best in the world. And they want to make Ahmedabad one of the best sporting cities of the world. If you take a look at the Narendra Modi Stadium, which comes in the campus of the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Sports Enclave, it's the world's largest cricket stadium, and we know the capacity is more than 1 lakh. And the same, the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Sports Enclave, where it is under construction, but the matches of the hockey, matches of the football, aquatics arena is there. So we can say that it's going to be one of the finest sporting cities of the world. Talking about the Sabarmati riverfront, there are 2 riverfronts, the west and other one east. So it is one of the best riverfronts in the world where we can host the water sports. And if you go there, it will look it looks like that we are somewhere in the out of India in Europe, and the ambience is like that. The background is like that. Ahmedabad hosted the national games, that we saw that a wonderful infrastructure has been laid out there in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad. So all in all, we can say that Ahmedabad is not only hosting the big events. If you take in the past few months, Ahmedabad hosted the events like Commonwealth Games, weightlifting championship, and also the most important, the AFC under 17 qualifying event, the football event also happened there. And in coming time, we will see that many more events that Gujarat, the Ahmedabad will host. So definitely, it will just push India's sporting infrastructure at the next level. And the most important, India is not only in the infrastructure term, they are trying to build a world-class infrastructure, but India is also focusing to how we get more and more medals in the mega events like Olympics, Asian Games. So the government has clearly emphasized on getting more and more medals. The guideline has been set, we can say the roadmap has been set. So the roadmap is to get to be in the top 10 sporting nation in the next 5 years.
And Narayan, the advantage of playing in the home turf will be there for Indian players.
Definitely, Shubhendu, always. It's nice for any athlete to play in the home condition. And if you take a look, whenever a team who is the hosting is the games always wins a large number of medals, because there are no traveling problems. They are already practicing on the venues. They are very comfortable. So they don't have to travel a lot. They are already, we can say, acclimatized to the situation. So it is the benefit also. The home crowd comes in a large, and the cheering of the crowd, nothing can replace that thing as a motivation for the athletes. So we are hoping that this time around, when India will host the games in 2030, record number of medals will be won by the India. And apart from that, we can say that it's not only about the hosting the 2030 games, but also the preparation for the games like Youth Olympics that India want to host, because Youth Olympics also mega events, a large number of athletes takes part in. If you take a look at Commonwealth Games, around 4,000, 5,000 athletes takes part in the Commonwealth Games. But in the Glasgow, because there was some, we can say, chopping by the Federation organizing committee, only 3,000 athletes are playing. But when the events like Asian Youth Olympics and also the events like Olympics takes place, more than 10,000 athletes participate. So it's a precursor and a preparation for that mega event. And hoping, as we mentioned, home condition or always, we can say that puts our athletes, any athlete on cloud nine, and it will help our athletes to win more and more medals for the country.
Absolutely. Great news for the athletes, Indian athletes as well. Narayan, let me bring in Abhishek Mahajan. Abhishek, once again. Abhishek, 2030 edition of the Commonwealth will mark the 100 years of this game. So the Ahmedabad edition is going to be historic for reasons more than one.
Absolutely, Shivendu, like you mentioned, 100th year, centenary year, where Commonwealth Games will be held in India. So in 1930, Canada, Commonwealth Games were held in Canada for the first time. And then 9 countries have hosted the Commonwealth Games, and Australia have hosted it for 5 times. And like Narayan was also mentioning, Shivendu, gone are the days when only developed countries used to host these multi-sport events, these global events. And like I said, I mean, we need to understand that it's big. I mean, to host something like Commonwealth Games, to host like something like Asian Games. India have never hosted Olympic Games, and we are trying our best. The Indian government is trying their best to host the 2036 Olympic Games also. But yes, I mean, like athletes will also get a lot of boost, home turf advantage, like you said, they'll be getting, and who knows that we get a record number of medals. We got over 100 medals, 101 medals in 2010 Commonwealth Games. We won 30 medals in shooting, 19 medals we won in wrestling itself. We won medals in hockey. We won medals in badminton also. Unfortunately, those games will not be part of the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow next year. But yes, it will be, it's a big thing to host the Commonwealth Games. And yes, infrastructure, infrastructure, a lot of work will be done, is being done in Ahmedabad, and a lot of work will be done in Ahmedabad. But yes, Ahmedabad, it's a big win for Ahmedabad. And yes, putting a final seal, it was going on for 4-5 months. But yes, now it's official that India will host the 2030 Commonwealth Games.
There, many thanks Abhishek and Narayan for joining us in this special broadcast and sharing those insights. The big news coming in at this hour: India has won the bid to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games. The city of Ahmedabad is set to be the host. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan the QR code on your screens and download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.